Good evening, Rams. My name is Ren Wadsworth, and welcome to the final installment of Right Now with Ren. Tonight we'll look at COVID-19, how it impacted campus life, and how research at CSU helped in pandemic aid. Then we'll take a look at the end of the year at CSU and what graduating Rams should expect. And Emily Kozel will give you a rundown of CSU men's rugby. And stay tuned for the end of the show for a special send-off. All this on Right Now with Ren, which starts right now. Since its emergence in the U.S. in early 2020, COVID-19 brought up many new challenges for everyone worldwide. Since the spring of that year, online schooling became a normality. Both students and faculty were required to practice education in a virtual setting, no matter their age. After 2 years of case fluctuation and transitions between online and in-person education, it seems like things are slowly returning to how they once were. However, there's still over 81 million cases in the U.S., and the numbers are still slowly rising. The need to get the virus under control included research done right here at Colorado State University. The school is home to a wide array of scientific specialities across its campus. This includes biologists, immunologists, virologists, and pathologists. That diversity in specialities allowed for opportunities at the university to research and attempt to combat COVID-19 in both humans and animals. And while head of the Department of Microbiology, Immunology, and Pathology, Greg Dean believes that another large surge of COVID is highly likely, he also believes his lab and team are prepared to continue to combat COVID.
Right. So when COVID emerged, we were really well positioned to consider how we could address the problem. It was pretty exciting to see how everybody responded. So again, we have virologists, we have people who work on vaccines, on antiviral drugs, on disease transmission, animal reservoirs. So everybody, regardless of what they had been working on previously, really started to look at what role could they play to address these important issues that we were facing, again, globally and locally.
Two postdoctoral researchers from the Greg Abel Lab, which focuses on arthropod-borne and infectious diseases, have also been studying and testing potential COVID cures since the start of the pandemic.
I don't know, I guess, well, let's see. So I think our lab was in a unique position. There were a lot of labs that wanted to be able to contribute when the pandemic hit, and they just didn't have the types of resources or technology or things to be able to do that. And I think our lab was in a unique position because we have the types of like physical robots and machinery that we use to test really large number of samples, which makes it possible for us to test, hundreds and thousands of samples a week. And so it was great that we were able to transition and apply that to help with the pandemic.
When COVID really first started to become a pandemic, the testing was failing pretty horribly. But we have all of the people, the skills to do that. So we paired with some other people at CSU to start testing in the skilled nursing facilities, since they're the ones at the biggest.
These were just a small sample of experts who worked around the clock to help stop the spread of a global pandemic. When we come back, I'll be joined by Collegian reporter Noelle Mason. Together, we'll discuss research done here at CSU. Then we'll transition into what graduating Rams can expect for this year's ceremony. For now, Krista McAllister is up next with weather.
Good evening, Rams. My name is Krista McAllister, and I'm here tonight to give you the weather forecast for this evening. Starting off in Fort Collins, we are sitting at a lovely 53 degrees. The sunset, if you want to watch it, hang out for a little bit longer because it will be happening at 7:58 later this evening. Humidity at 63%, so not anything too crazy, but it will be feeling a little bit more moist out there than we're probably typically used to. And a slight breeze coming in at 8 miles per hour for your wind. And now looking at what the temperatures are going to be like tonight across the state. In Fort Collins, and as we move down the I-25 corridor, we're going to remain in the low 40s, as we move into the western side of the state, starting off with Craig at 30 degrees over in the north, and slowly lowering in temperature as we move down towards the state. You can see Alamosa is indicated in red. This does mean that we will have a red flag warning for Alamosa, so that just means that there are a lot of conditions that will that are really indicative for fires to be happening. So if you're planning on having a fire, maybe consider moving it to a different night when there aren't as high of wind speeds. And as we look into the eastern side of the state, sitting at 30s for the most part, but raising a little bit warmer in Lamar at 44 degrees. And now as we look at the rest of the week for Fort Collins, again, it'll be a little bit cool tomorrow at 55 degrees as our high, 37 as the low. We will expect some rain showers, but there's only a 60% chance of rain. So maybe not grab your rain jacket out quite yet, but just be aware. And then as we start to move into the rest of the week, it will start to warm up starting on Thursday at 70 degrees for the high. And then it'll get beautiful. 79 degrees for both Friday and Saturday, cooling down a little bit to 73 on Sunday, but generally staying in those upper 70s for the rest of the week. I personally cannot wait. Well, Rams, that is all of the weather that I have for you tonight, but stay tuned for a very exclusive interview with Ren after the break.